told me of the news, and I was just like most people in America. I was very shocked.
The Ottawa Rough Riders limp into Winnipeg for the Eastern semifinal. And defense is the name of the game in Montreal.
Sports Desk, brought to you by Motomaster, Canada's #1 selling replacement parts, and by Chevy Truck.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the early report from Sports Desk. Also ahead in the next half hour, a couple of CFL veterans hope this is the year New Jersey nets its man and the fight that was supposed to be between Tyson and Holyfield. Yesterday at this time, Magic Johnson stunned the sports world when he announced that the HIV virus would force him to retire from basketball. That it could happen to a caring and generous sports idol makes the story all the more tragic. Basketball's search for another Magic will be a long one. Tributes of sympathy and support poured in today, 24 hours after Magic's incredible basketball career came to an end.
Magic called me and told me of the news, and I was just like most people in America. I was very shocked. I was devastated about it. He certainly is a friend of myself and other players in the league. We all looked up to him. We still look up to him. We feel that what he did yesterday took a lot of courage, and he seemed so calm when, quite frankly, I wasn't quite as calm as he was. But that's something to learn from. It's just something that it's a part of life. And I asked him, what should I do from this point, because I was really confused about it, and he just said live on.
It's scary right now. I mean, this is the first time it has actually ever hit home, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself that I don't feel bad for everybody the way I feel now who has AIDS. It's bad for everybody, but I guess it never really affects you until it hits home.
You got a lot of people thinking. It's one of the things that's very unfortunate, but it puts a lot of thought in a lot of people's minds, especially mine, a lot of people in general, that it can happen to anybody, is what I'm saying.
It's not like he's died or he's, passed away or anything like that. We look at it as a guy who was injured. His career's over in basketball, but his life still goes on. I mean, he woke up this morning, the sun came out, he ate breakfast. He's going to go to lunch, he's going to have dinner, he's going to go to sleep again tonight. He's just not going to be playing basketball anymore. So it's not like the guy's died or anything like that. We just lost our friend as a competitor on the basketball court. We haven't lost our friend as a human being.
This is the second kind of tragedy, so to speak, for me in 3 weeks, and it really gives you a pretty good jolt. And I think that, like you guys have said, he's handled himself with nothing but class, and he's attacked it head on, and we wish him all the best, and our prayers are with him.
More than a basketball hero, there was no way Magic Johnson could put off telling his public the chilling news. As an American superstar, he was 1 in a million. Now he joins a million others who have tested HIV positive. This afternoon, Charlotte Hornets guard Rex Chapman said that he would donate $50,000 for HIV virus research. Chapman's offer is an example of the kind of impact that Magic Johnson's admission yesterday will bring to the fight against AIDS, particularly in sports.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
With those words, Magic Johnson shook the world of sports, a world not unaccustomed to disease ending careers. Recently, cancer forced Dave Dravecky from the mound. Cancer also took the managing career and later the life of Royals manager Dick Howser. But you have to go back to Lou Gehrig to find an athlete of Johnson's magnitude forced to retire because of illness.
Jay, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
The Iron Horse was cut down in his prime by ALS, a disease which attacks and deteriorates the muscles. The disease would take his life and later bear his name. But AIDS is too far integrated in our society to ever be known as Magic Johnson's disease. Still, Johnson's positive test for the HIV virus will have a huge effect. What used to be someone else's problem, a disease for a minority, now has a face in the mainstream. It will be the smiling face of one of sport's most beloved athletes. It is important to note that Magic will endure, not just as a basketball memory, but as an active force promoting the game and raising awareness of the disease.
This is not like my life is over, because it's not. I'm going to live on. Everything is still the same. I can work out. Now, you know, I just be like one of the old-timers in a sense.
Awareness which has already sparked discussion in basketball.
A few years ago, I thought that there should be mandatory AIDS testing in the NBA with all the blood and everything being spilled on each other out there. And it just probably reinforces the fact that anybody's capable of catching it. And this will bring a whole new light to the AIDS situation when you get a guy like Magic Johnson.
Even if the call for testing is not new, the awareness is. While it may be a tragic story for Irvin Johnson, those who know Johnson agree AIDS awareness could not have found a better spokesman. On the line from his office in Toronto is Argo physician Dr. Ian Cohen. Doctor, could yesterday's announcement be a turning point in the awareness of the disease, especially in the sports world?
I think the general public is now much more aware now that someone who's very well known and is a prominent figure has been affected. In the sports world, I think certainly athletes and coaches have become more aware as a result of this episode, definitely.
Is there a concern of athletes contracting the disease while playing contact sports?
In certain sports, there's a theoretical risk. There hasn't been any episodes so far of an athlete contracting HIV through sports participation. The main activities that we worry about are sports where there is exposed skin and bleeding, contact sports, wrestling and football, where the risk is small, but in the case where say an HIV-infected athlete were bleeding and someone else had an opened wound or cut, there is a very small, at this point, theoretical risk of infection. As I said, this has never happened before. So what we do is we take precautions. Basically, we remove an athlete if they are known to have HIV from participation until that wound can be properly cleaned and dressed before we would allow them back into play.
In that case, should there be mandatory AIDS testing in professional sports?
No, I don't think it should be mandatory. I think that the same guidelines with regard to sports apply that apply in the general public, and that if an athlete has risk factors that put them in a position where they might have contracted the HIV virus, then that would be a medical indication to test them for AIDS. But as a general screening, there is a risk of turning up false positive tests. In other words, athletes who have a positive test but who don't suffer from or who are not infected. So the screening, I don't think at this point is something that we should be mandating or pushing in any way.
Dr. Ian Cohen, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
A final note on basketball, the Lakers will adjust to life without Magic. Starting tonight, they will play their first game without Magic Johnson on the roster in Phoenix this evening. Just ahead on the early report from Sports Desk, 4 teams are still in the running for the Churchill Bowl. We will take a look at